Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today. Yes, my name is Dan. I run a company called the Detective Society. Um, when I'm not doing that, I'm a games consultant and business mentor. I started my career in entrepreneurship and the creative industries in 2010 when I founded a web design and marketing company, which is still running today. And then I founded our games company with with two friends, Joe and Tristan, in 2020. They worked in escape rooms and live experiences. I've been a passionate gamer and an entrepreneur all my life. And at that time, all of the escape rooms were closing down. So we decided to try and bring that experience of playing an escape room into players' homes. And we did that through tabletop games, of which I was already a big fan. Um, we describe our games as a digital hybrid game, which I'll talk a little bit about in this talk. This photograph is from my early days at university. We made a little kind of live experience where you run around this kind of ruined manor and you had to solve puzzles and play little mini games. Sometimes they were digital mini games to progress through each room, and it's just to kind of show really that I've always kind of been interested in this kind of space, immersive work, games, puzzles, that kind of stuff. So fast forward to today. We are the Detective Society. We make tabletop digital hybrid games. They look a little bit like this. Inside is a load of paperwork and a load of materials, evidence from a crime, really. We're not like a traditional board game. There's no rules to learn. We try and have that feeling of an escape room where you go into the escape room and you just sort of start all rummaging around and playing with things on the walls. And we want you that feeling when you open up one of our boxes. You've just got all this paperwork in front of you and you've just got to start going through it. And as you go through that, you will unravel mystery and you will kind of find some puzzles that need solving. And yeah, we combine that with like digital stuff, and we do that in our own kind of style. It's very different from other digital board games on the market. So to give you an example, this is a fake bank that we created. We've got over 100 different fake businesses and organizations in our games, and in this particular world, the player might actually have to hack into this fake bank account and track down like a suspect's bank statements to figure out where they've been and what they've been doing, and what day they were where, and all that sort of stuff to help them solve a crime. So it's supposed to feel like you're sort of in the real world, and the real world and this fake world is kind of blending together. um, I've titled this talk about the puzzle that launched our business. This is one of the things that we did to help ourselves grow. Is we created a little 10-minute demo game, and we exhibit at game shows, trade fairs, conventions, all that sort of stuff. And I really encourage anyone who can to go out and do this, because it's a great way to meet customers, do a bit of research, sell some games, and get kind of some first-hand experience of getting your puzzles into the real world. So this worked really well for us. It gives players a little bit of an insight into our kind of style, and they know very quickly whether they want to kind of invest in our games or not. So I'm going to talk through a couple of these puzzles basically. So we call it Murder at the Expo. Inside this box is everything that you need to solve the murder. We've narrowed down the suspects to one of those three characters that you can see on screen there. And just like a real detective, you have to examine everything thoroughly inside the box. And just like a real detective, you might have to go online, you might have to send messages, you might have to send emails, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, contacting the characters is totally part of the game. So the first kind of letter you stumble across is this organization called FindZilla, which is another fake business that we've set up, and it's like an online file storage company. And it turns out that the victim, whose name is Mark, he had some online storage and was perhaps keeping some secret documents there, and you've got to figure out how to get in. And this letter kind of tells you that you're going to need a unique access code, you're going to need an email, and you're going to need a password. So we're on the hunt for those sorts of things. The next letter is from a fake organization again called Save the Kittens, and it seems that Mark was fond of kittens and was thinking about adopting a kitten. And from this letter that you've got in your box, you can figure out what Mark's email address is. It's an ink splotch puzzle. You've got to kind of figure out what the missing letters are. You put that together and you can kind of get hold of Mark's email address. These websites and stuff that go along with our games, there's a lot of kind of humor in there. As I say, we've created tons of these and they kind of pop up throughout all our different games, and you might go back to ones that you played in previous games, and we like that. We kind of create this kind of digital world that sits alongside the real digital world, and it's nice for players to kind of remember, oh, do you remember Save the Kittens from that game? That's cool, there we're back there again, sort of thing. It's a nice experience. So you figure out what Mark's email address is. Now we need the password, and it seems that Mark has been using this law firm to act as a human password reminder system. It's not very secure. It's a little bit silly. That's kind of our style. You know, we cram as much humor as possible into the games. A lot of people say it's quite British humor. I don't know whether that's true or not, but yeah, we really try and make stuff funny, but there is always this sinister and dark undertone as well in our games. But anyway, you message Marissa, who is a lawyer at Middleton Crothers, and she gives you a password hint, and she says the pet's name and the year of birth. So what could that be? Well, in your box, you've got a photo frame with this photo in it. And at this point, players often try horse 1986, pet's name and year of birth, but that's not quite right. And a big kind of aha moment, a big click for our players is when they realize, you know, just like a real detective, you've got to take that photo frame apart, and on the back of it is a message, and it says, me and Jeffro on my 13th birthday. So now you know the horse's name is Jeffro, and you know that you need to take 13 years off of the photograph date, 1986, and you get the person's year of birth. So we got the password, the horse's name and year of birth. We got the email address from the Ink Smudge puzzle, and we got the unique access code, which was from the FindZilla company right at the beginning. And that gives you access. And you go online and you kind of hack in, and there's a message in there from Mark saying he's left some important documents on his desk, and they're included in this package that you've got. You can see a little padlocked folder there in that picture. And Mark's left you the code to get into that padlocked envelope. You open it up and you get this. If you're reading this, then I'm probably dead or worse. Yesterday somebody tried to kill me. I'm worried they're going to try again at the expo. Working in the board games industry makes you a lot of enemies, but I didn't expect it to come to this. I didn't see who it was that tried to kill me yesterday. All which I saw was that they had a nose ring. Please try and get justice for me, please. So using that message from Mark, one of these three characters has got a nose ring, so you know it's that character, and therefore you have solved the crime. Interesting little bit on the back of these characters is like a bio about them, and that character, apparently the reason they didn't get along with Mark, and possibly the motive for the murder, was that they lost a game of Monopoly to Mark, which is a little bit silly, but there you go. So that's our murder mystery demo game, and as I say, I encourage people to think about if you can kind of get something physical out into the real world, into the live world. I think it does really. It's done really well for us as a business. There's some rules that we follow with all of our games. Is we try and intertwine the physical materials inside the box with the digital world. So there's got to be a reason really for everything to exist in our game. So, you know, one can't really exist without the other and vice versa. We like that kind of weaving between physical and digital. We believe that realism increases the immersion in our games, and we think that immersion is cool. We like immersive games and we like immersive experiences. So we try and make our puzzles as diegetic as possible. There's usually a narrative reason why stuff is in the box. Now that gets hard after many years of doing it, and sometimes we're a little bit loose with that rule, but we try and, where possible, make there be a narrative reason why things are inside the box. And of course, the rules of puzzle design always still apply, even though we're kind of moving between different mediums and playing with different kind of concepts. You know, things like, for example, if a player needs outside knowledge to solve a puzzle, typically that might not be a great thing in puzzle design. But in our games, that's totally fine, because a real life detective has got access to Google and can go online and look things up. So as long as the player is aware that they can do that, then that's totally fine. So just making sure that we're aware of those kind of traditional rules of puzzle design and that we're following those. So that's my talk, a lightning talk there. Thank you very much. Here's our website, is thedetectivesociety.com. Now, I've actually left a hidden puzzle in this presentation. If you can go back at some point and see if you can spot that, there's a little reward for you if you do manage to find it. Leave your comments perhaps in the video or drop me a message. There's my stuff on screen. Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That was very cool to see. I think some people in the chat noticed there might be something going on. So I think folks are definitely going to go watch it back and find out.
Cool.
So maybe we've got time for one or two quick questions here. There's a question here from Patrick Trainer, who's asking, what playtime and difficulty did you land on for the in-person demo mystery and why?
So it's much lighter because you're trying to onboard players, right? So we give them a bit of spiel up front and explain that this is just a taste of our games. You don't get the big kind of grand narrative, which is a big theme of our kind of stories. So you can't really get that. So we kind of say, it's a little simpler game just to give you a flavour, and then hopefully they'll go on to play the more difficult adventures, basically.
Great, thank you. And then we did get another question through as well from Plushlola, which is a joke question. How difficult is it to get away with all the murders you need to do to produce the mysteries?
I know, right? Yeah, my Photoshop history looks like I've been piecing together all sorts of hideous crimes, but I promise it's for game design purposes.
Yeah, hopefully you've never been gone through security and they've checked that you're.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think we've got time for another quick one, and I had a question as well, which is, so you showed that photo of you all at university,
Yeah,
and you were interested in it back then. At what point did you know that you could make a career out of this, and it could be a business for you?
If I'm honest with you, I still don't know if I can make a career out of it.
Okay. Maybe that's just how it always works.
Yeah, I think I've been passionate gamer for my entire life. I made my first computer game when I was about 10, and it was a silly little it was a nothing game, but I love that idea of kind of coming up with something and other people being able to play it. I think I probably only kind of really commercialized that concept of being a game designer in the last 5 to 10 years, really. And it is difficult because it's a very competitive market. So I have other things. I've got the consultancy going on the side, as I say. But if you're passionate about it and you kind of are willing to just keep going with it and keep making stuff, I think there are routes there to make it happen, basically. Yeah.
Great, thank you so much. Some more questions came through. Apologies that they didn't come through in time to ask them now. But if you would like to ask them, please head over to the Discord, thinkygames.com/Discord, where there'll be a thread for this talk where you can ask them, and Dan can answer. Thank you so much, Dan. We'll get set up for the next talk now. Thank you.